Hey there, welcome back to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jan Simon, and this season we're raising the bar, diving into the passion, purpose, and defining moments of leaders who don't just aim high, they live there. Big ideas, real stories. Let's get into it. Here we go. You ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this. Today on Above and Beyond, we're joined by someone who knows exactly what it means to lead with grit, purpose, and impact on and off the field. This individual is a powerhouse in the world of marketing and network development. As a key player at DeBellevue Global Marketing, she helps businesses grow through bold strategy, strong branding, and authentic connection. Her ability to blend creativity with execution has made her a go-to force for companies ready to elevate their presence and impact. But long before she was building brands, Karin was breaking records. As a Division I softball catcher and a Hall of Fame athlete, she still holds a single-season home run record at Southern Louisiana University. The same tenacity now drives her in the business arena. She's also the visionary behind Above Par Network's Breakfast of Champions and recently joined forces with Frank Serpi Jr. to expand the network's reach and influence across the East Valley. Whether she's designing strategy or sharpening systems, she leads with heart, clarity, and deep commitment to empowering others. Get ready for a conversation filled with insights, energy, and the kind of leadership that truly goes above and beyond. Let's welcome Karin Gadberry to the podcast. What?
Boy, I'm gonna have to start taking you around to every event and let you introduce me. So that was a lot. That was
It
a
was,
lot.
but there wasn't everything. I mean, there is so much in your background. As I was looking at stuff, I'm like, holy crap. Karin Gadberry's like somebody.
Not really. Not really. I think I've just had some different experiences, and I was allowed to have some different experiences. And so, at a very young age, I, got out and got to experience a lot of different people, and sports provided that. As you know, growing up playing sports, you get to interact with so many different people and get to be a part of so many people's lives and learn different cultures, and
Absolutely.
It's great. It's fun.
Absolutely. When did you start playing sports?
So I originally played basketball. So
Okay.
that was my first sport. I didn't get involved with softball until almost the age of 13. I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And we finished up playing basketball, and I loved playing basketball. And my friend was a point guard who later went on to play college softball at Long Island University. She was a shortstop. And we finished up basketball. She says, "Hey, Karin," she's like, "You want to come play softball?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I go home and tell my parents, "I'm going to play softball." And they're like, "What?" You don't, I guess I played T-ball, don't remember it, didn't like it, whatever. And I was like, yeah. So I grabbed my brother's glove, I go out there, try out, I make the varsity team for 9th grade.
What? No kidding.
Yeah, so I just hit it off.
That's
and
awesome.
The lady that I played for, I think I'm one in a million. That who goes to junior high and then your softball coach, which she still teaches there, her name is Kathy Bryson. She works in IT, but she was a PE teacher, and she had played at Pacific Lutheran University.
Okay.
And at the time at PLU, when Ralph Weekley was there, he was Team USA coach. They were playing for NAI national championships. Which was way before Division I was really popular in the 80s and stuff. And she's playing for these championships. She was a middle infielder, and that's who my first coach is.
No kidding.
And
Wow.
In the 7th grade, she told me. She was like, "Karin, you will play Division I softball."
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, "You're right, lady.
That's
I'm
awesome.
going to do that." And from that day forward, I was never going to let her down.
Wow.
She coached me for 5 years, all the way through high school and stuff. I got into playing travel ball. So I played third base, and I moved into catching, never left catching after that. It was like I was born to do it.
That's
It's
awesome.
the most strange thing. But I think if you kind of correlate it to you talk about the branding and the business and stuff and the strategy. When you go back and you look at it, catchers are the field generals, right? Baseballism talks about they're the general, right?
Yep.
And they're corrugating all these different aspects and leading the teams and stuff. So it's just this innate thing that you automatically do.
Yeah.
You don't think of anything any different.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, okay, so we're going to get back into softball. But I got to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
You grew up in Washington State.
Yep.
Thank you. High five.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. See.
Hawks.
All right. For all you Niners fans or Cardinal fans, sorry. You should pick a better team. So you grew up in the Seattle area, Puyallup.
Puyallup, yep. Yep.
Born and raised?
I was born, and my parents still live in the same house.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
So do you still have, like, your bedroom, little pink blanket and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yawn. I had pink. I had a
I can't
baseball
see you with
room.
pink.
I did. I had a baseball room and stuff like that. My entire life was sports.
Okay.
I'm the only one between my brother and my sister. So my sister's 6 years older.
Okay.
My original room is not my original room anymore. I had moved into where my brother's room was because it had a little bit bigger closet and stuff. But still, like, yeah, when I go home, the shoe thing didn't begin until later. We will get to that.
Okay.
But 43 years they've been in the same house.
Wow.
They operate their business out of there, and
That's incredible.
They'll never leave.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's funny. My dad grew up in Tacoma, which is next door.
Aroma of Tacoma.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding. Was it smelt? Not smelt. Whatever that stink is. You drive down and wow. Yeah. I always knew we were getting close to Grandma and Grandpa's house when I could smell that smell. All right. So, growing up in Puyallup Rodeo, right?
Oh,
Stampede.
Yeah, they got the Washington. Well, now it's the Washington State Fair.
Oh, okay.
So they still have the big rodeo, and then like Brooks and Dunn would all come in, and like all the big artists, like
Nice.
George Strait back in the day. Now they got all the rappers and But yeah, it's massive.
Very cool.
It's absolutely massive.
Very cool. And you weren't a pink person.
No.
Who was your who was your celebrity crush that you had the poster on the wall?
Oh, so you know what? We weren't allowed to put posters on the wall.
You can put staples in the wall?
No, we didn't have any posters, but I tell you what though, because I've always been into like motivation and different things like that. And I do like Michael Jordan.
Okay.
So his like work ethic and like how he grinds and like, all of those different things.
Yeah.
Which Pam turned me on to this book, the Relentless book, that's about Michael Jordan's training.
Oh, okay, yep.
Oh man, about being a cleaner, closer, or a cooler. Oh man, it's just like, and so those folks that you like look up to and stuff. I did have a Shaquille O'Neal jersey from the Orlando Magic.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did have one of those, and but I loved, and I don't remember who ever said it, but like the most important qualification to winning a championship is an intense burning desire, right? And so I used to like have those like posted up everywhere.
Nice.
But like when you think about some of those like iconic people during essentially the 90s,
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's like the Magic Johnson or
were the Supersonics gone by the time you got?
No. So Gary Payton was still
Okay.
like, and Sean Kemp and Detlef Schrempf and
Yep.
and all of them. They around that same time period going into 2000, that's when they kind of started to get rid of the Olympics for softball. And so
Gotcha.
as I became like really interested in softball, there's Elisa Fernandez, like still is always going to be one of the most admired players out there. Like there's not really a whole lot of people that are like her. And then that led into like Jenny Finch and some of those folks, but Stacey Newman was a catcher, so it was like that was the only person. But without the Olympics, there was nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Division I became so important. And so that time period that you're talking about, right? Like growing up, when you look at some of the powerhouse, and you had University of Washington was a powerhouse at that time, and you really start getting into playing collegiately was really the goal.
Pinnacle type thing.
Yeah, it was the goal and the focus.
So you played basketball till 7th grade and then started playing softball after that?
Well, I played both.
Oh, okay.
So I played varsity the entire time. So as a 7th grader, I'd made the basketball team on the 9th grade team. I played up with everything.
Okay.
Like I never played with my own age group. I was always playing the next level up and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I could like dunk a basketball at like 9 feet.
What?
Oh yeah. I was a really
kidding.
good basketball player.
Wow, that's impressive. So you're a very intense person now.
Oh yeah.
Were you intense back then? I mean, what kind of teammate were you?
This episode of Above and Beyond is brought to you by the amazing sponsors who help bring this show to life. A heartfelt thank you to Above Par Network, elevating connections and creating impact. Foundation Insurance Services, protecting what matters most with confidence and care. Meritum Credit Card Processing, empowering businesses through expert consulting and unwavering support. And Rocks and Calligraphy, bringing beauty and personal flair to every handwritten detail. We're proud to partner with these outstanding businesses who share our passion for excellence. For more about our sponsors and exclusive podcast content, visit abovebeyondpodcast.com.
I definitely was someone that I was going to compete, but I'm never competing against you. I'm only competing against myself. And I think sometimes that bothers people because when they think about competing, they're always like, well, am I better than you? And it's like, no, am I better than I was yesterday?
Yeah.
And what was it, Bobby Knight, that said like, the best motivation is ask me to bench.
Yeah.
Right? You want like to be motivated, you got to get your ass off the bench.
Yeah.
And so I never wanted to be that. I never wanted to be on the bench. And so I think that's really what the motivation was. But pitchers, we were always together all the time. And there was this mutual respect and trust that we developed. You know, I was taught how to call the softball games.
Okay.
And so both from Bryson, then I played for a couple of travel ball guys that were out of the military, and they didn't have kids on the team, and their entire goal was winning. That's it. And they were like, if you play well enough, people will come find you.
So like a mixed co-ed adult league type thing, or?
No, it was just girls softball.
Club? Okay.
Yeah, it was just club softball and stuff. There was no showcases. I mean, like literally we went to tournaments and it was like, we got to a point where we like threw the trophies in the trash and we wore all these like t-shirts. And it was like the next day, Monday at school, was like, yep, what are y'all wearing? Not this,
yeah.
You know, but they taught me how to call the games, which then moving into college, my first year, I sat on the bench, like I sat in the bullpen, sat behind a senior.
This is at Southern Louisiana?
Yeah, at Southeastern. Yeah.
Or Southeastern?
Yeah. And you know, when I look back on it, I'm actually happy that it happened. I learned so much. I hated it. But it was like, I think it was a growth aspect that I needed to be able to excel. And so then when I was out there, I was ready to lead the team.
Yeah.
And so I was really fortunate that Pete, the head coach, I had earned his trust to be able to call the games. That is not common. A lot of it is all called through the dugouts. And so, you know, some of the people that I caught for, like, at the fact that then they trusted me to call those games, and they knew that, like, I knew what was going on. I knew the situations, and, you know, it's not always about striking everybody out. Like, sometimes it's really about where's your defense, and, hey, you're trying to get them to hit the ball there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Let them make the plays.
Yep, for sure. In high school, how did your team fare at Puyallup in high school? I mean, were you good? Did you win championships in high school, or?
So that's always based on pitchers.
Okay.
Like, and Candace was a really good pitcher. She was behind us. So my friend Sadie, she goes to LIU. I end up going to Southeastern. My friend Candace ends up at PLU. And she wanted to do like accounting and stuff like that, and really wanted to stay home, but she could have played Division I, chose not to. She helps pitch them to several postseason. But at that time period, we were missing a couple of key positions.
Gotcha.
And so we actually, so I went to Sumner High School, and we were in that North League, and Mike Larrabee actually happened to be the coach at Kent Meridian, which means nothing to anybody else except for he went on to be the coach at Arkansas, Wichita State and Arkansas. And we end up playing them at Wichita State. And he was like, I know you.
No doubt.
After the game, yeah. And it was like a surreal moment, you know, and it was like, wow, we were, you know, and they had some really good teams. Washington was full of very talented softball players that went on and played like at several
friend
divisions.
Whose daughter just graduated UW a year or two ago. She played on Team USA. Samantha Reynolds. She's a little firecracker. Great hitter.
Yeah.
I think she played left field. I can't remember, but
yeah. And the game was really different back then. Like you only would score a couple of runs. So at the fact that it's like, oh yeah, Karin, you were a home run hitter, right? Like I did always best like hitting the 3 or 5 hole. And, you know, there wasn't like home runs being hit like during that time period.
Do you remember the first home run you hit?
Yeah, it was like my first season playing.
In high school?
No, in junior high.
Junior high. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was like very quick.
Did you just pick up a bat and you could swing and hit, or did you actually go through batting training and stuff like that?
So that's one of the things, like going back to Bryson and her willingness, and she saw something in me. And so my brother used to drop me off at the school, and I would go and I would hit with her all the time. And, you know, and so I think that like really set the tone. And then, you know, I mean, I got to a point where it wasn't about how many swings that I took. It was about like really the quality of it. But then once you get to the college game, it's different, and you have to change some different aspects because of, you know, the pitching. You're back up to the 1%ers again.
Yeah.
And so you really have to, it's all strategy based at that point. And so you have to go in with a strategy to the at bat. You can't just go up there and be like, all right, well, I'm about to smash this, because they're going to make a mistake. You know, they will make a mistake, but it's way less.
Yeah. So getting out of high school, how does this decision come up that you're going to go from Seattle area, which we'll call it Seattle area, even though we know it's not, but Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, to Eastern Louisiana?
Yep.
Is that like near New Orleans? I don't even know.
Yeah, so 45 minutes from New Orleans.
Okay.
So I go to this big tournament in Colorado, and that's where everybody would get recruited from. And I go there, and I originally had North Dakota State after me for months. They had just come off winning the Division II national championship, and Coach Mueller there was like, oh yeah, we want you. They had offered me a really good scholarship. And I was like, I don't want to go to school in North Dakota. My mom wanted me to go there.
It's cold. Windy.
They were like, we issue out parka jackets. And I was like, a parka jacket? Like, no, I am not doing that. So then
ankle length.
Yeah. So actually, they never saw me play. I never saw the campus.
Oh, wow.
There was a guy from a school out in like one of the Carolinas, saw me play. Oh, it was like a private school or something like that. And he was like, you know, you're too good of a player, like, not to play Division I. And he was like, you know, is there some way that I can, you know, help you go somewhere? Like, mind you, this is like a month before school starts everywhere.
Oh, wow.
So I've already graduated high school. And
you haven't decided where you're going yet?
No, because that was normal at that time.
Ah, okay.
You could still go all the way. July 31st was the last day, or the 30th, whatever the last day of the month is, was the last day that you could sign. So I was like, nope. I was like banking on, you know, and I mean, there was like some different opportunities between like LSU and like Florida and stuff, but the campuses were too big for me.
Yeah.
And the scholarships like weren't there, and it was just like, my parents were like, we're not doing that. So I was like, yeah, there's this guy at Southeastern Louisiana. So he calls him up and tells him, hey, I think you should pick up this girl. And so then he sends me an offer, faxes me an offer. I'm like, I'm going to school in Louisiana. My mom's like, why do you want to go to school in Louisiana? And I was like, it's warm.
Yeah.
And Mom, they have Mardi Gras.
Oh, geez.
I didn't even know what Mardi Gras was. And look,
oh my God,
they let me go.
No way.
Yeah, they were like, okay, well, we're going to put you on the plane. They didn't go down. Put me on a plane. August 2001. I'm like, my coach is like, I didn't even know what he looked like. But you want to know what he looks like? He looks like, you ever seen that movie Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
With Bernie the dead guy? Or whatever?
No. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
Oh, man, it was great.
That's
It
funny.
was great. Yeah.
That's funny.
Pete Langlois was his name. And he was like, I'll be there at baggage claim and I'll be wearing a yellow or a gold color shirt. And I met him at baggage claim. And
For the first time.
For the first time ever. We had talked on the phone and then, like sent some emails. Yeah, I knew nothing about it. And I was like, I'm going to college in Louisiana.
Never been there.
Never been
Didn't
there.
do a campus tour.
No.
Sight unseen.
Sight unseen.
Wow.
And my parents were like, we'll see you in November. My sister was getting married in November. So I was like, well, I got to go back for the wedding.
Yeah.
So then, there was like lots goes on, between that. I was supposed to live on campus. I ended up living in a 5,000 square foot house with 5 other softball players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Drink fest. Wait.
We never had any parties.
Never.
Never.
I'm sure there was never a party in that
No.
5,000 square foot property.
No.
Oh, my God.
I lived in the dining room.
Yeah.
So I had some interesting ventures between the dining room, a laundry room. I lived in some different spaces. Who cares?
I just like,
You don't even know what to say now.
my mind is just going in directions that probably shouldn't be going. Just like,
Oh, man.
I don't know. So, okay. So do you remember your first home run you hit in college?
Oh, you know what? Yep, against Alcorn State.
Okay.
I was a freshman. It was one of the, I got to play, and I hit 2 that night. So I'm pretty sure I only had 2 my freshman year. So 2, 8, and then 15 and 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the most memorable game in your college career?
Oh, there was a weekend. It was a weekend against Texas Arlington, and Texas Arlington was really good. So Texas San Antonio was ranked during that time period.
Sorry to cut you off. Do they travel you in buses or did you fly places?
No, we traveled in buses.
Okay.
Like 9-hour road trips.
Oh,
and sometimes in vans. And then you're like going across the Chafalaya Basin, and we would get like, there would be like some sort of accident or something, stranded there. Like, yeah, that was, it still happens.
Okay. All right. So most
yeah,
memorable
so
win.
We play against Texas Arlington. We never beat them at their place. And their school's right next to like Six Flags over in Arlington and stuff by the Texas Ranger Stadium. But they were playing at our place, and I don't remember if it was my junior or senior year. But we would always play a double on Saturday, single on Sunday, and they're just a great team, great pitching, and so. I'm playing well in the first game. I end up hitting a home run, and we end up beating them. Okay, and so we were always like middle to the end of the pack. We didn't really have the pitching to go with the team. So we tended to struggle a little bit. And the 2 pitchers that ended up having really good careers, they had injuries. And so that kind of messed up both my junior and my senior year.
Okay.
That messed up those seasons. But actually, my freshman year, Sue Hill, her daughter was number 99 who pitched for Texas this year. And that won the national championship.
No kidding.
She pitches just like her mom. I'm pretty sure that's why I have thumb problems from that lady. She could pitch.
Yeah.
But no, so game 1, I hit the home run. And we ended up winning. It was low score. It was definitely back and forth. Game 2, they're getting ready. I'm coming up to bat. It's the last inning of the game. There's a runner on third, and I come up to bat, and they're like, "We're gonna put her on. We're not gonna pitch to Karin. We're going to pitch to Becky, who is behind me." So catcher stands up. We're gonna
throw outside.
Yeah, do all that.
You step across the plate and smack at it?
No. I'd already hit a home run that game.
Okay.
And so they were like, no, we're not going to let Karin beat us. So by pitch 3, she overthrows the catcher in walks in the run.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Coach is livid in the dugout.
I'm sure.
Okay? She can't even function, right? Like, we win
How
2
do you
games.
overthrow a pitch out?
So that's a whole, for a whole different
late
podcast.
release.
Like, they just don't. It's not something that pitchers do well in softball. None of them. Like, you watch the Texas Tech girl, like, that's how they lost the game, too. Like, it is a very hard thing to do. And they practice it. But
Interesting.
so anyways, so we sweep them on Saturday, right? We're not supposed to beat them. So, like, we're all, like, excited, whatever. So Sunday rolls around, right? And then they're like, well, we can't walk her. Like, because, like, we're like, so they pitched to me again. Hit it out of right field.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. I had all the home runs.
You a
The
left-handed or right-handed hitter?
Right-handed hitter.
Okay.
But I always hit my home runs, like, right center gap.
Okay. So
I had slow hands, hit the curveballs, good on the changeups, but yeah. So then
on the slower stuff and.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then golf it out, the inside drop ball, golf that out of left field. But so anyway, so we end up sweeping them, and we had a giant party after that.
Sure.
Like, I lived in a duplex. You know what? I was a senior then. That
No
was my
kidding.
Senior year, we had a giant party after that. I mean, like, we're talking, the bathtub is filled full of.
Well, I've never seen you drink a lot, so I don't know what that would
Me either. There's been a few times I go,
I would bet rocking it out with a bunch of softball players would be pretty crazy. I can say I've never been to a softball party.
There was some good. There's some good events. Like,
That'd be pretty fun.
But we had the 24 and the 48-hour rule. Like, don't be disrespectful. Don't drink 24 hours before a non-conference game, 48 hours concept. Because, like, the second you tell somebody no, they're going to go do it.
Oh, for sure.
And so it's like, don't fight that battle.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, you're an athlete and you shouldn't do it. And it's like, well, sometimes, like, going back to, like, Relentless, right? It's like, there is a dark space.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you have to, like, how do you deal with
and
I'm not saying drinking is the answer, but or something negative, but, like, everybody has their outlet in some way, shape, or form.
And I think some of it too. I mean, I think about my growing up and I mean, a nice way of putting it probably is my dad was old school, heavy-handed, and he was a teacher and a coach. And he was very well known in the community because by the time I was in school, he had already, been years.
Yeah.
But, and his whole thing was, if I can't, in essence, control you, how am I supposed to control the other kids, type of thing. So when I went off to college, and I went to college and I wrestled in college. So, I mean, I
Central.
can't. Yeah, exactly. Central Washington.
Where my husband went.
No kidding.
And my sister graduated from there.
Great alma mater.
Yeah,
right there.
it's Wildcats.
It's an awesome school. It has changed a ton since I have been there.
Yeah, they had the chimpanzees.
Yes, they did, actually. Oh. I actually knew a guy that worked with the chimps. So, but we drank a lot as a freshman. Yeah, there's a story I won't tell you, but I was very sick because I drank so much. But I think that, so getting out from underneath what we'll call it the thumb of our parents, right? And you went across country, basically.
Yeah.
Nobody's there to watch you other than your coach. And
you could still have an open container.
Oh, yeah.
Right down there in the car.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. They have drive-through daiquiris, like the whole thing. Only ID the driver. I think they still do that. Like,
I remember when I first moved to Arizona, I went to purchase some alcohol on a Sunday morning because we were going to have people over or something like that, and they couldn't sell me alcohol before 10 o'clock. And I thought that was the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because Washington, we never had that. Now, we did have to go to separate liquor stores to get stuff, but...
Yeah, but, and I think, like, in my coaching days... and that's where I kind of really actually enjoyed the fact that I had this experience down in Louisiana. Mardi Gras would be during, and I joke about it, right? But it is actually my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
Like, but, we would have a day off, like, for Mardi Gras. It's a holiday. Like, And it's during the season. And, Pete would always give us a day off. And he would be like, but look, I want you to go with someone and I want you to experience this, but go with someone from Louisiana who knows. And, and that was like the continued thing that we would always do. But I think moving into when I was in coaching, that I learned was, the second that you say no, 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 they won't come tell you when they actually really
They're still doing it. Yeah.
And they hide it. And so then it makes it actually really dangerous.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, just don't go be in the paper.
Yeah.
Like, just, don't bring it onto campus. Like, if you're going to, like, don't be.
And leave it open.
Yeah.
Leave it open. Hey, if you need help.
Provide education about it.
Yeah.
Like, how can we help educate you on what are some good choices so that you don't put yourself in a bad situation?
Yeah.
The people that you're with, like, a drink with people that like, don't, but don't leave your teammate hanging.
Yeah.
Or not even just your teammate. Don't be that person that leaves that chick there.
Yeah.
Like, that was like kind of that whole thing. It's like, let's be responsible about whether it's at a bar, like at a house party. Like, if you go there with people, like, don't just like leave like without telling them, like really educating them on how to make responsible decisions, because I do think that there's a difference between completely being irresponsible and being responsible and doing it.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned this before, I think, but influential people, high school, college, that really influenced you. What made you decide that coaching was the path you were going to go down?
Oh, I fell into it.
What was your degree in school?
So I started, and I thought I was going to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think I really like kids to begin with. And then I changed over to health promotion and exercise science, and I was going to get ready and graduate in that. And then they were like, oh, okay, you're going to do your internship, and you're going to work with like people who have had like heart attacks or like strokes. Like,
I think we did the same thing. My degree's in fitness and sport management, which is basically pre-med.
Yeah.
Or pre-physical therapy. Yeah. And then I went and did a geriatric practicum.
And you were like, no.
And I'm like, I ain't working. There was an old guy. Okay, dead serious story. There was this old guy in this hospital that in Ellensburg that I was doing a practicum at. I think it was the hospital's actual physical therapy department. I can't remember, but he had a hip replacement.
Oh yeah.
For HIPAA compliance reasons, I will not disclose the patient's name. However, he was a crotchety old man, and he would swear at me every time I go in there. And I had to get him up.
And make him do stuff.
Stand him up, walk him around, get him back to bed. Yeah, every day. Walk him. Yeah. He literally, like the third day, I go to stand him up, and he's bitching at me. He's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm like, come on, Mr. Bradley.
That's even better.
Yeah. I stand him up. He
shits himself?
Shits all over the floor because he's got a gown on. So it just,
for the love of.
I'm like,
I'm out.
I'm done. Yeah. I am not doing this. I want to work with people that want to get better, not with this.
Yeah. Well, so like they like start going through all the demographic, right? I don't even make it to that part. Okay. And they're like, they've had heart attacks. They haven't, probably they've lived sedentary lifestyles. And then, so I'm like sitting there and I'm like, so you're telling me I'm going to work with people who are not athletic and like they're old people at that time. And I was like, now I look at, 50, 60 years old. I'm like, that's not very old.
It's not very old, but it's old as shit.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. And so then I end up changing my major. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in general studies.
What does that even mean? Is that like underwater basket weaving? What the hell does general studies mean?
So it's a BAGS, which is like a bag of shit. Like,
you have Bachelor of Science degree in general studies. I took classes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then people hired me.
Yeah. And somebody goes, "You have a degree? Okay."
Yeah. No, so I ended up having like family and consumer science classes, and I had some other things that were associated with it. But essentially, it's just like so that then you can graduate, but Katrina happens. So
Were you there when that happened?
yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I finished in 2005.
How far away from where most of the flooding
came
was?
through. It came right through. So when Katrina took the right hook,
Okay.
that's why then the wave came through and dumped in New Orleans. If it doesn't take the right hook last minute, it dumps everything in Hammond and Ponchatoula.
Oh, wow.
And like that's where the campus was. So the campus has like, while I was there, it was like 12, 15,000 students.
Okay.
And like we became a center. So I had to go one additional semester. So I was there.
Okay.
Alex and I were already together, and so I was finishing up school. That's when my head coach began having quite a few issues, like personal issues, and his wife takes off on him, like stuff like that. And so then he was like, look, things were in disarray. The National Guard was on our campus, like Entergy Company, the Bell South Company, like that entire semester they were there. Like Shell overtook like the area where the softball team was, like because they came off the rigs and stuff like that. And so we didn't take in people. And then that's how I ended up actually, well, I had already worked in athletics. So I played softball, went to class, and I also worked in the athletic department.
Like a coach or something? Or?
No, so I worked in operations.
Oh, okay.
So, which then later on leads to how I end up, my good friend Scott Nunez, who I've been friends with ever since, he's the one who hired me. Frank Pergolizzi was the athletic director at that time. He took off right after Katrina. I ended up working for him in West Virginia. So that's how I ended up in West Virginia, was because Frank recruited me up to West Virginia after I had coached for 4 years at Southeastern. But Pete was like, hey, look, will you consider staying here? There's, the program, there's a lot of different issues, but I started as like a volunteer, but I was like working on the campus.
So was getting into coaching more an opportunity, or was it something you went, hey, this is what I want to do?
Nope. It ended up being an opportunity. And I was like, you know what? I get to coach Division I. I'm not a GA.
Yeah.
Like I'm the first assistant.
Wow.
So then, and then it was like at that point, instead of moving up to Washington, Pete was like, stay down here. And he's like, Alex and I got engaged in November of 2005.
Okay. Sidetrack. Sorry, everybody online. Don't care. I do. But I mean, we're going on these sidetracks. Alex is going to Central Washington University.
Yeah.
You're in Louisiana.
Yep.
How the hell did you guys meet?
The YMCA.
What? Church camp? I mean, YMCA camp?
Church camp. We look like church-going folks. No.
Alex does. You don't. I don't know. God can save you.
Oh, man. Okay. So we meet at the Puyallup YMCA. And
Did he grow up in Washington?
So he grew up in the military. He grew up in Germany. His mom was from Germany. Dad served 23 years in the Army. And
wow. Okay.
big time, all the way to Karin Gadberry. Like there's, like, I think it's like,
there's a Humvee named after him?
No, I don't think so. But there's like some street, like Gadberry Street.
Oh, wow, no kidding.
Yeah, Colonel. Okay. So his dad was originally from Seattle. So when he retired and got out of the service, so we actually went to high school apart. We were different grades.
Okay.
But we went to separate high schools, 8 miles apart.
No kidding.
I'm working out going into my senior year. So July of 2004, I'm working out wearing my high school, my Sumner softball shirt, which I hardly ever wore.
Holy shit, she's hot.
She's a high school hottie. Like,
he's like, I'm in junior high.
Man. And he would tell you, be like, hey, yeah, you got a spot for me. And I was like, yeah, that's because I'm out lifting the guy, but
yeah.
No. So he asked me, like, thinking that I was teaching there.
Okay.
And because he was going to do his student teaching there.
Oh.
And so then I was like, no, I played there, but I go to school in Louisiana, like blah, blah, blah. So then we end up exchanging numbers. Mm-hmm. And the craziest thing, when I end up calling him, and that was, obviously like we didn't have cell phones really either. Yeah. So we were calling house lines. His mom answers the phone.
Oh, no.
And she's like, I remember her taking a message, and then like it was like the next day I ended up meeting up, and I had gone to his house because his parents only lived like 8 miles from my parents.
No kidding.
And his mom that night was like, "You two will get married." She told him,
"You psycho."
No, she never told me.
Oh, okay.
But like she told him, like, you two will get married.
Wow, that's crazy.
She called it straight from the get-go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what year did he graduate Central?
He graduated in 2005. We both graduated 2005. He was June because of the quarter system. I was in December because I had to go one extra semester. But he didn't go all 4 years there. He had played football a year in Hibbing, Minnesota, came back, went to Pierce, and then played like a year of
Did he
football.
move down to Louisiana then once he finished school?
So he was working full-time.
Okay.
Quit his full-time job to be unemployed in Louisiana while I was like making like $14,995.
That was amazing. That was an amazing sacrifice.
In 2006. like
Wow, $14,000. You were just rolling in the dough.
Oh, was I ever? But like coaches, they don't get paid well.
No.
They really don't. Like the ones that you see on TV do, but like outside of that, like you don't get into coaching college because you make a ton of money. And then and it's a different lifestyle, like you're on the road, like, you're always, it's very different.
Yeah.
And, so it's a hard lifestyle. Like after 17 years, it was like, I'm good.
She started in Louisiana.
Yep.
Went to West Virginia.
Yep. I
Then
went like
from
2009.
There went to New Mexico.
Yep.
And then from New Mexico,
Here.
Park University.
No, I went to GCU.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I spent 1 year when they moved into the WAC, and Ann Pearson was the head coach. And
Did that bring you to Arizona, or did you come here?
so Alex's job brought us here.
Okay.
Alex's mom was sick, and then both of his parents have passed away and stuff. But that's what brought us here was they were snowbirds here.
Okay.
And so we were trying to migrate this way.
Gotcha.
And so then with AJ and stuff, we wanted to make sure that he was around her.
Yep.
And so that's what brought us here
So then you were GCU for a year?
for 1 year. And then Steve Wilson at Park University, because like the campus didn't exist here, he had a mutual friend that I did, Matt Sullivan, out of Louisiana, and was like, "Hey, we're looking for a softball coach." And then he was like, "Hey, you should talk to Karin." And I do have my master's degree, so that bag of shit degree. Like, I do have a master's in organizational leadership,
Oh, well, okay.
leading nonprofits.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And so then it was like building that whole entire campus. And so I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Like, what a great
So
idea.
Park University has,
No
in
students,
essence, no students, no campus,
no staff.
no staff, no softball field,
No, yeah.
and you come on to...
I was like, sign me up.
Wait, let's step back to West Virginia because I think this kind of plays into Park University.
Yeah.
West Virginia,
Didn't have a softball field.
no softball field, but
No.
yeah, you had a softball team.
Yeah.
Where did you play?
We played at the high school that was 30 minutes away.
30 minutes?
Yeah, you had to drive down the Kanawha River. Yeah.
Practice and everything.
We didn't go there to practice. We didn't practice on the softball field.
Where did you practice?
In the gym and in the batting cage. And then the campus was built into the side of this mountain. And so they had this football team. They had a football field, but like you couldn't get on there with between like men's soccer, women's soccer, football. Then,
Don't you scrimmage?
yeah, we don't worry about that. Look, so in essence, okay, I'm going to tell you there's one basic fundamental of softball. If I was to say,
If you can hit the ball and catch the ball, that's all we care about.
yeah, essentially, but like,
There's no strategy.
but in the big grand scheme of things, if you actually really think about it and somebody says 90% of whatever sport it is, and like, so softball, 90% of softball is what? And all the kids would be like, it's mental, right? Like, because it's the mental game,
You're
right?
mental.
But the answer is 90% of softball is get the out at first base. If you just get the out at first base, you don't have to worry about it. So even take the hypothetical situation.
So you basically play pitcher, catcher, first base.
No, because like the other people, but you make them forget about everything else.
Okay.
And you're like, if you just focus on getting the out at first base, nothing else matters. So let's say the first person gets on, right? Next person, depending on what the coach's philosophy is, right? If they bunt, everybody's like, oh, we'll get them out. Don't let them get in a scoring position. No, screw that. If you can outscore them, it doesn't matter. But if you just get the out at first base, right? Okay, so there's a runner at second and you get them out at first, right? The next batter comes up. If you just get them out at first base, even if the runner moves up to third, hey guys, we got 2 outs, 2 down, runner at third. Who cares?
I was just saying something. I was just saying really bad. Did you see me? I sucked it right back in. Anyways, okay.
So if you take the same principle, Jan, really and truly, if it's all about distractions. So if you're the opposing team, if you can distract the other team, right? At the end of the day, it's all execution on.
Can you steal in fast pitch?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once the ball is like released from the pitcher's hand.
Okay.
But now let's take it to a business perspective. How many businesses get distracted away from what their actual goal really is? And then it becomes chaotic.
Well, I would argue probably the majority of business owners have some form of ADHD, so that very likely most of them have been distracted about something.
But if you get them back to what is the end goal? The end goal is actually just get them out at first base.
Make money.
Okay, so get back to your point is the goal maybe at that time period is to make money. Maybe actually at that moment, it's not really to make money. Maybe it's to make money, you have to fix this area here. So if you just like focus on that. So what did I do? I taught all the kids to focus in one area. And then on top of it, it was like, well, then we're going to hit in the cages all the time, right? And so if they score 1, go out there and score 1, score 2. So everything that I did then was based on, we're going to have strategy and we're going to outscore everybody. Who cares if we win the game 9-8?
Yeah, we still won.
Win.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's W's and L's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they bought into it.
So I think I asked this question a little while ago, and I don't know that we got to an answer because I sidetracked just a little bit. But who influenced you to make that decision to take the opportunity into coaching? Or was there somebody, or was it just kind of like, hey, here's an opportunity, I'm going to take it?
I think that part was really in Louisiana it was like, I'm already here. And Alex and I could make a life of our own here.
Gotcha.
And like not starting back over. And I love the culture of Louisiana. I loved living down there. And Alex was like, well, I don't care. Like, I'll move. And then he ends up living there. But I'll tell you, Frank was extremely instrumental of me going into administration. And he actually asked me while I was in West Virginia, what do you want to be?
Not Frank Serpy.
No, Frank Pergolizzi.
Okay.
Frank was from New York, and he grew up from a butcher family, like Italian guy, very reserved. I actually didn't like him. I told him when I interviewed I didn't like him, and then he like called me up. He was like, we want you.
You're the most honest person I've interviewed, so
yeah, like
guess what? You get the job.
Yeah, no, and it was just I really didn't care for him much. But I tell you what, until he retired, like 2 years ago, I have never had anyone be a better reference than him.
That's awesome.
You know, he saved my butt in coaching. You know, we all make mistakes and we do different things.
Yeah.
I had super successful teams there. Very different coaching Division I versus coaching NAI. And, you know, there was a lot of challenges at that school. It's since moved. Like there was, you know, situations where it was probably going to close. But he led all of those coaches in a 1,000-person town. In a old mining town. He led all of those coaches and he brought in women to coach women's programs and like, which is not normal, and pulled in Division I assistant coaches to come be head coaches. And like, we ended up winning as team sports over 100 wins there.
Wow.
Like back-to-back seasons. And before my last season, he actually told me, he was like, you have a really good recruiting class coming in. You're going to be really successful. And in May, I'm going to fire you.
Why?
Because he didn't want me to stay there.
He wanted you to grow.
He wanted me to grow. So he got me into administration. That's how I ended up getting into the women's association for administration. He made me get my master's degree. He told me he didn't care what it was in, where I got it from, what I did. I needed to, it was a part of the plan.
Yeah.
Like, he made me do specific things and then supported me. And he didn't pay for the stuff. Like, when I got my mentorship with NACWA the first time as they re-kicked it off, and I was like, hey, man, I got in. It's in Pittsburgh. And he was like, great, I'm not paying for it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Nah.
I told Alex, I was like, I think I need to do this.
Yeah.
I paid the money. I drove. He gave me the school car, and I drove up to Pittsburgh because the school was not that far from Charleston, so it was about 4 or 5 hours. I end up having to get, because it's like business casual clothes. And so I was like, I only had the one outfit I interviewed in. Like, I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
I'm like stopping at the Macy's. Like getting like
trying to find something to wear.
Absolutely, because it was like 3 days long, and I was like, well, I could wear these set of pants 2 days, and like this jacket if I just get this pants. I have like these three shirts.
What got you to the point? Because obviously, then you went through Gilbert Leadership, which brainwashed you.
Brainwashed me.
I'm just kidding. But you ended up getting out of coaching.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you spent 17 years.
I retired from coaching. I didn't get out.
Okay. However you want to spin it.
I played for a different reason, and I coached for a different reason. And I feel like a little bit of that dynamic has changed. But when I mentioned earlier, it was like a different kind of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You move every 3 to 5 years. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And I felt it was, that it wasn't necessarily being fair to myself.
Yep.
And I went to play college softball because it was a means for an education.
Gotcha.
I needed it to get an education. And that's why I do have an education. And what I figured out, though, was that between the things of like Gilbert Leadership and some of the other leadership programs that I had done, like through the NCAA Academy or through the Women's Coaches or the Women's Association, it taught me about like why my purpose was that I was utilizing the sport of softball to actually lead people for the next 40 years of their life. And that's where Breakfast of Champions comes from.
Gotcha.
Because like I was doing those things with my team because I knew they were not going to be professional softball players. And it sounds really cliche, but then on top of it, it was like, these people I want them to be successful in life.
Yeah.
They don't need to be the best softball players. Like, it wasn't about, hey, how many home runs could you hit? I never recruited kids based on their talent. Yeah. I always recruited kids based on, do they want to eat in that cafeteria? Do they want to get that education? Do they want softball to help keep them on track so that someday they go and they're the best person that they can be? And that's really like what it has always been about.
Yeah.
And then Gilbert Leadership, between like Gail Schmidt, and she's like, why are you wasting your time? Like coaching college softball. Like you need to, go do Gilbert Leadership. Yeah. And then it was like, I didn't even know what the chamber was.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know about any of that stuff, but we engaged in the community. Like I raised so much money, coaching in Division I, you're always fundraising dollars. And it wasn't like I wasn't engaging with business people.
Yeah.
But I ran a lot of those programs outside of what was required of balls and strikes, and I will be better people.
Yeah.
That was the whole end game.
Was there a point in your career through all of that, through high school and college and coaching and all of that, where you either felt like you were alone or on an island or just really drugged down, beat up, just ready to quit? Was there ever a situation like that? And then how did you get yourself beyond that?
Yeah. That's a really great question. So, happened a couple of times. It was trying to get recruited is a very long, treacherous road. And I made so many sacrifices. No, my parents never told me I had to go practice. It was like I trained 3 days a week. And it was like, and that's where I said it earlier, like I wasn't going to let like Bryson down, right? Like I had to go play Division I. And there was a time period where it was coming up to the end and it was like, I'm an epic failure if I don't do this. Like, and it wasn't that I took then the situation with Southeastern as I had to go there. It was like, I wanted to go there. And I knew it was a different culture. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew it was something that I needed to experience. So I needed to get on that airplane. Like, and so, you know, it was when I was in New Mexico, there was a time period that I was like, I think it's time to go. And I had my player die, and it was like, they don't teach you how to prepare for that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you sit with that mom and they're like, her dream was to play college softball. You gave her that dream, and then you're going to bury her in the uniform.
Wow.
Like, and you actually go through that whole process, and you're just like,
that's heavy.
Oh, it was like nothing else. And it happened during the middle of the season. It was my last season at Highlands, and it was the little freshman catcher, and she didn't return back to campus. And so her mom had called me, and then I was like, oh, well, let me drive and go look. And so her mom was like, no, I'm driving, like something's not right. And I was like, Serena, like everything's okay. Like maybe she just caught a flat, you know, because she lived in the Albuquerque area and you had to drive like 2 hours. And so I was like, I'm going to take off and I'm going to, you know, see if maybe she's like at the side of the road. She hadn't checked in on campus because she lived in the dorms. And so then like, long story short, I end up driving southbound. And so I was looking on the northbound lanes, right? Because she would have been driving the opposite way. And so I come up and there's like a couple of fire trucks like in the southbound lanes. And there was a car like off on the sides and it was like all the way across. And so I was like, well, that's strange. It was like 40 minutes away from campus. And you go over these like passes from Santa Fe to get into Las Vegas. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull over. Like, I'm just going to check. And so the cop comes walking up and they were like, can I help you? And I was like, well, I'm the coach at New Mexico Highlands. And I was like, honestly, I was like, I'm out looking for one of my players. And the lady like looked at me and she was like, one of your players? And I said, yeah, she was driving a Chevy Cobalt car. And I was like, but she hasn't returned back to campus. And she was like, well, and then she tells me that it was her in the car. And she was like, do you know the mom? And I was like, well, of course I know her mom.
Yeah.
And she was like, and she wasn't supposed to tell me anything.
Right.
But she was like, can you come be with her mom? Her mom is not doing well.
So her mom was there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Her mom had arrived like 5 minutes before I did. And the only reason the lady told me was she was a former softball player. And she had played in the RMAC conference.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, I'm going to, you know, she was like, clearly. And I was like, look, I have to make some phone calls to the campus and, you know, stuff like that. But just that entire process. And then like the next day, like it's pretty much national news.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, and then like planning everything and then, you know, the services, my players on the team were pallbearers, like selecting those, like.
That'd be hard.
It was one of the most like, you talk about that island situation. Yeah. And head coaching is very much like you're on your own island, but at that moment, absolutely.
Wow.
I felt like there was nobody else that could do anything because everything all was going through me. So it's not like anybody else could even make another decision. Yeah. And then the mom's like, well, we're going to have you speak and give the eulogy. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
What?
Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like, you know, really like Hispanic Catholic, like, you know, and you know, the entire church is like packed. And then we got to play the next weekend, you know? And so everybody had worn like red ribbons. It had gone across the country. Like this girl's nickname was Pony. She was like 4'11", like a really great little catcher. Yeah. Great catcher. But yeah, I mean, it was like, I was like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. But then like part of me was like, I need to keep doing this. Like, because in the big grand scheme of things, it was like, I gave that kid her dream. Yeah. No, nobody else was willing to recruit her. Yeah. And it was like, her mom was like, you saw something in her that nobody else saw. Mm-hmm. And it was like, at that moment, she was like, that was her entire dream.
Yeah.
And so, you also walk away and you're like, wow. But then, time and stuff. And there's so many things that like over the course of time would like bring up different things.
Yeah.
And, and it was like, oh man, like pony, like just, yeah. So just a total crazy situation that they don't teach you how to
deal.
No.
Wow.
Like,
that's incredible. I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah. Not a lot of people really do. It's not something that I've
talk about.
Yeah. Alex had already moved here and like, shoot, I didn't even tell him. Like,
oh, wow.
Because it's not like you could do anything,
Yeah.
And, so it was a hard time period, especially for the players on the team. Like, I mean, and they were pretty close knit little team. Like, and then the one girl Maddie, the pitcher out of Utah, she goes like bananas and pitches us into the conference tournament. And
wow.
Yeah, like
that's awesome.
Just started guns a-blazing.
Did you ever beat? I mean, you said earlier that you had beat a team, and we'll kind of move on from softball here in a second. But you'd said, and I'm gonna have a peanut butter whiskey.
Absolutely, I brought those for you, sweetie.
Won't say what they are,
no,
but peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier the team that you technically weren't supposed to beat. Was there any like big name teams? Like, did you ever beat like LSU or anything like that?
Yeah.
Where you're like,
yeah. So when I was coaching, we beat LSU when they were ranked like in the top 10.
Wow.
Knocked them out of hosting that year because it was at the end of the season. When I was coaching Division II, Metro State was ranked. I beat Metro State. There were some others. We beat Syracuse one year.
nice.
Girl had like freaking mohawk.
Did you tell Frank that?
Absolutely.
You beat Syracuse? That
Yeah.
you made Syracuse your bitch?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We beat Southern Miss a number of different times, and actually my record-breaking home run came against Southern Miss.
No kidding.
I loved every minute of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Hall of Fame athlete.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I got this cool jacket.
Yeah, you got a cool jacket. You brought your jacket to show.
Yeah.
Gold jacket. It's got a lion
Yeah.
on the front. You guys are the Lions, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, the Lions. So,
Southeastern Louisiana University. Hey, didn't...
Mike Uper.
Yeah, Mike Ufer went there too, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him about that. Were you guys there at the same time? He's probably a couple years older.
He's old.
Mike's old. Okay.
Yeah. So in 2019, I got inducted. So September of 2019 on my parents' 45th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. My teammate Sarah Gascon, she got inducted before me, and then my teammate Rachel Ray, who's actually from Payson, Arizona originally, all three of us got inducted into the Hall of Fame. There's only 6 softball players in the history, but
wow.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool. And you were inducted, but you also hold the home run record.
Yeah, so single season.
Okay.
Then career.
Back to back.
Yep, the career.
Okay.
And then slugging percentage. So I had a 757 slugging percentage.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You're a beast.
Dude,
So did you play softball after you, like...
No.
Do you ever play now, like pick-up games? You go play, like, somebody says, hey, we need another player.
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
Too intense?
In 2005, no. Actually, it had nothing to do with that. I was so ingrained that I was going to play Division I, right? And that was what my goal was. And I trained for all those, like, 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was, like, going through that entire process of college and, like, it went from not being satisfied... Right? Like, good enough is never good enough for me. Like, ever. Like, if you think that it's good enough, I'm going to tell you it's not. Like, and then I'm going to figure out a way, and I'm going to make it better.
Caesar salad's good enough.
Absolutely not. We better add, like, chicken to it or something. Like, but Jan, when you, like, look at me, you think, like, good enough is never good enough.
No.
I'm like, watch me.
You are probably one of the most intense people I know. honestly, and I mean that as a compliment, I think. But
I'm very literal though, so like some people are like, she's kind of scary.
you will say what you mean.
But I do.
Yeah.
I came to a point where I was like, after my sophomore year, and I was like, look, I can either just say I played Division I and be okay, or, you know, I could really actually make something of it and not actually just be like satisfied with it. And so then, you know, I changed my whole training structure again and like went back into that like focus mode. I still had a good time doing stuff, but it was different at that point. Like I knew that it boiled down to execution.
Gotcha.
Like, and I stopped worrying about the things that I wasn't good at, and I focused on the things that I was good. And people would actually tell you in the softball world, I'm not actually known for home runs. I'm actually known for my catching ability.
Really?
Yeah. They would, if you were to talk to coaches, you know, you talk to my friend Melissa that still coaches over at Fordham University. We had coached against each other for a number of years. Like, I was known for my catching ability.
No kidding.
Yeah. I could throw people out with the best of them. I controlled the defense. Like, people could not pick my signs. Like, it was
crazy.
Being that field general, that's really what I was good at. And so, which it kind of makes sense. Like when we sat on Gilbert leadership together, right? And when you look at the things now and you go back and you think about it, like providing direction, seeing the bigger picture, like being able to make quick decisions, like, you know, and not everybody's meant to be in that head coaching seat or in that like ownership seat, but you have to be able to like make that decision, right? And like when you're at third base, right? Are you sending them or are you not sending them? Like at that moment, you know, you have less than 10 seconds to figure out what's the sign that you're going to do, but you have to be 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So you have to play in your mind plan A, plan B, and plan C, like based on all the different things that are going on all the time.
Yeah.
So like, I just, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's really like a lot of people, that's really what they remember is my ability.
Catching.
I hit like Jeff Bagwell. You remember Jeff Bagwell?
I know that name.
Guy played for the Houston Astros and stuff, had the super wide stance. So I couldn't hit the rise balls, couldn't hit anything inside when I stopped focusing on that. And I just focused on the curveballs and the changeups. And I think that, you know, even now, like going from coaching, how do you end up at the chamber? You're in Gilbert leadership, like I stopped focusing on what I wasn't good at, and I just stayed in my lane with what I was.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, I know how to raise money.
You, Hall of Fame inductee. Do your records still stand today?
3.
Okay.
Just those 3.
Okay.
So just the single season home runs, which is 20 years.
How many games do you play in a season?
Like 56.
56?
Yeah.
Okay. And you hit 15 home runs.
Yeah.
14 and 15.
Yeah. 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we played in a big park. It was like 220 fence.
Yeah. I'm not trying to belittle. I'm just trying to get my head around.
Yeah. So, and then like at the time when I graduated, I had like maybe 10 records when I graduated.
No kidding.
Yeah. I was the most prolific hitter.
What does that mean?
Like
you could hit the most?
No, like the
if you connected, it was going someplace.
Yeah, I mean, I had, you know, a 368 batting average, like
no kidding.
But now the batting averages are higher and stuff, like bat technology and has all increased, but
bigger bats.
Yeah, just the technology is so much better. Playing actually in a bigger ballpark affects like some of the numbers there. So for it to still be standing for 20 years later
is very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I myself am like, wow, that's kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like I do feel like that kind of is my legacy.
And now that you're inducted in the Hall of Fame, nobody can ever take that away.
No.
I mean, somebody could come along and beat your record.
Yeah.
Which would knock you down a notch or 2 or 5 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But you will always
records are meant to be broken.
Well, sure. I mean, there are things for us to strive for, right? Yeah. undefeated seasons.
Yep.
Or, what have you.
Yeah.
Right? There are things to strive for. But the cool thing is, you got the gold jacket. Nobody can ever take that away.
It's very different. And in 2019, they didn't have the gold jackets. They gave the gold jackets a couple years ago, and they invited us all back. And so it was the weirdest thing. So I'd finished coaching, and the one girl was getting inducted. So we had another softball player, and I had made a promise to the institution that whenever someone from softball would get inducted, I'd return back.
Okay.
And I would try to not go more than 2 years, without going back. And obviously COVID happens, and,
Yeah.
But, so they do this presentation of the gold jackets, and I told Alex, I was like, I'm going to go back.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. And he didn't go. It was just me. And we were, they no longer had it. They have a Hall of Champions.
Okay.
And so that's where, in the University Center, that's where everybody's photo is. And then along this wall, but they would have, the march where they would announce all of the, people who had been previously inducted who were in attendance. And, so then, I'm like, I'm going to go get my jacket. And they changed it to a Friday night dinner thing or a Saturday night, whatever it was. And so I got my buddy Scott, the guy who had hired me, and I was like, hey, I'm coming into campus. I'm like, will you be my date? Will you be my little arm candy, for me to go to this Hall of Fame thing? And it was the first time I hadn't been coaching anymore, and I hadn't been on a college campus. You know how many Hall of Fame dinners I've been to? 17 of them. You know what I'm saying? Because every single campus has it, right? And it's not to dilute the thing, but I had already been around so many different Hall of Famers or people who went on to play professionally, so it was kind of nothing for me, at the time. It meant a lot, but don't get me wrong. But there was something about it when I returned back to campus, and I remember they called us all back to the back room because then they were going to do the announcing of when you do this march, this announcing of the Hall of Famers. And so the folks who are getting inducted, they're in the room. So they don't have their gold jacket. They're sitting in the room regularly clothed, and until after they get inducted, that's when they kind of the same concept of the Masters, right?
Gotcha,
Getting
yeah.
the green jacket. They almost kind of copied the same thing. And so I remember I was so nervous actually because they begin announcing the names, and you're with and there's these really very talented 80-year-olds, people who played back in the 60s and the 50s and stuff. And actually Robin Roberts, the
Basketball player.
Yeah, she played at Southeastern.
Okay.
She's also a Hall of Famer at
Okay.
Southeastern.
Wow.
And so you're standing in the back with these people, and they open up the door and they start announcing. And in class of 1990, in class of 2000, class of 2019, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to walk. And you walk into this room, and you only see these there's probably only 40 of us, 25 of us or something, wearing these gold jackets, and it was it's like goosebumps all down, and you're like, this is different.
That's cool.
You can't even.
How cool is that? Do you get? Out of naivete, do you get special treatment now if you go back? Is it some type of okay, you can come to any football game or softball game or something?
They always invite you to different things. I am going back in September. So I made the decision this September to go back. So September the 12th, they now have an official Hall of Fame ring. Although I had designed my own Hall of Fame ring, the school now has one.
Oh, wow.
And that's an actual branded, because I couldn't get a branded one. And so I was like, you know what? I want one of the schools.
Yeah.
It's very, just a completely different, it's very structured,
Yep.
but, that's really what I've always wanted and stuff. And so, yes, I made mine and I love it, but I was like, I really want that. So I was like, I'm going to go back to campus.
Yeah. Next level.
Yeah. It's totally next level.
Cool.
And so, it just is, it's just a different feeling. And you actually don't really realize once you step out of it, you're other people are not in this, I don't want to call it a club, but you
but
can't
it is.
buy it.
But it
you
is.
cannot buy
yeah,
it.
No. You can't. I mean, the only way you can get there.
You got to earn it.
Yeah.
Like you.
I mean, and you're.
I never would have thought. that
For
I would
lack
ever-
of better terminology, that's something special, right? I mean, that is like, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. When you're talking, I feel some of the same way that I feel. That's weird. So
Do you need another drink?
I sense some of the way. Yeah, probably. Maybe another shot. There's not a egotistical thought process to where you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
I'm very humbled.
Like you're good. You know you're good, but you're humble about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You understand that. I mean, to be in the presence of greatness, right?
I don't think I'm greatness.
But you are. You
There's
are a
far
Hollis.
greater
Okay, sure, right? But do we know that for sure? I mean, somebody else was afforded a different opportunity than you, an opportunity that provided them a Texas A&M, a Oklahoma, a Washington, a whatever, somewhere that allowed them to be more visible than what you were offered. But potentially, you were just as good, if not better, than they were. But you have been solidified in a world that really you're great. I mean, you're incredible. And it's interesting because I think about myself. People are like, I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
I just show up
I
and
just
do me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm doing this because it fills me up,
Yeah.
makes me happy. I want to help people or whatever it is. But it's like this whole, I'm no different than anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a celebrity. I was going to name it. I don't think I can do that without getting in trouble. You take a celebrity. They put their shoes on the same way we do.
Absolutely.
They tie their shoes the same way we do. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They ain't doing some type of weird freaking backflip and jumping in and whoop, I'm in my pants.
Yeah.
Right? They're the same as we are. They have been given an opportunity to hone a skill and become very good at it. You were given that opportunity to become very good at what you did. And so I think to celebrate that is okay.
Yeah.
But I understand with listening to you and my own feeling, projecting my feeling on you, I understand that. I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that earlier you said when you do things and you're competing against yourself.
I only compete against myself.
I think the same thing with golf. I've played with people who are really bad, and I'm not a great golfer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a great golfer.
You can play.
But I am always trying to be better than myself.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
But I'm like that with everything. So it's like a curse.
Oh, I am too. I'm like
curse.
when it comes to sports, I'm like stupid perfectionist.
I actually feel bad for some people. You asked me about the whole teammate thing.
Yeah.
And not everybody is wired like that, right? And Alex is he tells me all the time, he's like, Karin, people are not like you.
Well, see, so that's
And I'm
funny because
they need to be.
That's funny because for me, I think there are people that are better than me, right?
Yeah, there's always.
I used to get really, really angry in high school because I didn't play football past high school, and I should have. I used to get really angry. Do your job.
Yeah.
Do your job. Do your job really well. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
In softball, you were a catcher. I was a catcher in baseball. Be a great catcher.
Yeah, if you just focus on what you're supposed to do, and I used to try to like coach that, instill that in the players. If you walk out, you're the shortstop, and you try to be better than the opposing shortstop, like you don't need to worry about anything else. Just be better.
Just be better than you. Be you.
Yeah.
Try your best not to create any errors. Right.
Well, yeah.
In football, when I played football, I went to summer camp one year, and it was, so I went multiple years, but one year I went was a team football camp, and it was Dennis Erickson was there, who ended up becoming the coach. He was ASU, Washington State University, and then he became Seattle coach, whatever.
Yeah.
Dennis Erickson was there. There was a kid that was there from Coeur d'Alene High School who was the only quarterback better than me. And he was like, I mean, bigger school. I went to a small school. I'm a small kid, whatever. Dennis Erickson's like, you got a strong arm. You need to keep throwing. You need to play better, whatever. I played with a team from Grandview High School while I was there. They didn't have a quarterback, but they had an entire team. I didn't have a team, but I was a quarterback. So I played with them. They ended up trying to get me to come to play with them for my senior year. And I'm like, I've been going here. This is my senior, whatever. But the thing that they did that I don't feel like my senior team did, and again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I screw up like everybody. But they executed. Like, their linemen knew their assignment. They knew where they were supposed to be.
Yeah. And then they executed.
And not flawlessly, but they executed. Mm-hmm. And that we were undefeated at camp playing, and it was absolutely fun. I went back to my high school and we pretty much sucked. We were a small team. We only had maybe 20 people on my high school team. So, but I think about you, and I think about you getting into the Hall of Fame. You are next level, and you can't belittle that. I mean, you really, truly are next level. So, anyways.
Sometimes I feel bad for, like, other people, because then I'm like, I don't think like others, and I'm like, I gotta, like...
Well, right.
I know.
It's
I
interesting.
know.
Like when you, let's say, you go play pickleball, right? And you have to play bad.
I won't play bad.
No, I won't either. But I'm just saying, like...
So, like, I don't gamble. So, like, most competitive people, they're like,
I hate
$20.
I hate gambling.
Yeah, $100.
I'd rather go give my money to a poor guy on the
Frank Sturpey's always like, hey, Karen. And he's, like, trying to get me. I'm like, Frank, I don't gamble. Like,
Frank Sturpey.
I don't gamble.
Frank Sturpey from New York.
Like, I don't gamble. And he tries to, like, get me into this whole thing. And like, I don't do any of that. And it's like, I go out there, and no matter what it is, it's to compete with myself. It's like, do I walk out of there knowing that I did the best that I could, whatever that best is? And so,
do you find? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Do you find when I'm competing with myself, I can become better?
Yes.
When I'm competing with somebody else,
then my focus is on them.
I become worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely, and I didn't know it at the time, but it's really like boils down to that 1% rule. And it's like, I'm going to get 1% better every day.
Yeah.
But I'm only focused on what is it that I can get 1% better at. So
there's a book there.
So I know, like, Kobe talks about it and different things, but like when you look at greats, like there's always like some sort of component, right? And so at the time it was like, I'm going to get 1% better in the weight room, right? I'm going to lift all that much more weight. Like, I mean, not really. It was not prototypical when I went to college. I mean, I held the weightlifting records at the school.
That's crazy.
Like,
that's awesome.
Which is not normal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when I graduated college, I was benching 195 pounds. I was squatting 275 pounds.
You bench more than I do. You know what's crazy?
Like a girl.
So, oh my God. My goal my goal is to bench 225.
Oh,
I want 2 plates.
Goal. Yeah.
2 plates on each side.
I did that on decline bench when I was in college.
I have
trained
never
that way.
been able to get over 200.
I don't
However,
now.
today, working out,
Yeah.
we did dumbbell press, chest press, and I did 90s. 3 sets of 90.
That's actually
three,
really good.
3 sets with 90s in each hand.
Yeah.
So it was 180, which is pretty decent. But, oh my God, that's crazy.
I trained,
Dude, you're
though.
a beast.
In college, and in high school, I really trained. And there was actually one time period after I was finishing, for cleans and to do like the clean and jerk, I was at 195 to do clean and
No
jerk.
kidding.
Yeah. And so the guy who was the Olympic coach was over at like LSU and stuff, and he would come and teach them like different classes. And I ended up doing strength and conditioning.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to train. But I didn't want to cut the weight. I needed to cut the weight, to drop a couple
See,
of weight
and I'm
classes.
wondering if that was some of my issue. So I graduated high school, 163 pounds, dripping wet. I wrestled. I went to college. I dropped to 148, and I was 6'1". I was 3% body fat.
Yeah.
No meat on my bones whatsoever. And I couldn't build muscle.
Yeah.
But I was always strong in my legs. I was a leg rider in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
My legs are super strong. And so like when we do, hip thrusts or things like that right now.
Yeah, that's like your bread and butter.
Yeah. I mean, dude, everybody,
yeah.
but we go to bench. I'm like, eh.
I try to stay a little bit more on the single leg stuff now and really more concentrated on the balance and stability stuff versus the strength. I don't I have feet problems. I don't have knee problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have
Flat feet or?
No, I think it's from catching.
Oh.
You're not really, your foot's not meant
ankles?
to be in that spot. I
Yeah.
had really flexible ankles, but your foot's not meant to be in that spot. And so my feet, and it leads to some tight calf muscles and
Makes
stuff.
sense, yeah.
So I really try to do more of the single leg stuff and focus on more of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have feet problems. So I try to avoid stacking the heavy weight on
Gotcha.
from that perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it does. It goes back to good enough is never good enough.
Yep.
I'm going to be 1% better if I just focus on myself. And I try to be mindful of my weakness areas, and try to identify okay, this could be potentially a problematic thing for someone else. Whether, I didn't know those things when I was playing, and I didn't necessarily see so much, I think early on in my coaching career. And that's where I made some mistakes. And then, I tried to just learn from those things and, apply it moving forward.
Yeah.
And make the impact moving forward.
Gotcha.
Help someone be their best possible version of themselves.
What was the best advice anybody ever gave you?
Not closing those doors. I actually put out something about that today too. And I did love at Southeastern, they had this thing when you went to the Dugas Center, the athletic building, and you walked up to the doors, and it would, it's regular, and it said, there was a sign that said "Pull for the Lions," right there on the door.
Oh,
and
interesting.
when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, and I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Pull for the Lions.
But you get it now.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then when you would walk out of there would be this sign that would say "Push for Success." And so you had to push the door, right?
No doubt.
So 9 years, right? Because I spent 9 years down there. You think about going in and out of those doors all the time. And at some point, it becomes innate. So I didn't ever realize it till, actually just a couple years ago. And I was like, every single time I go in and out of a door, I'm like, I'm going to pull whatever, whether I was at the Chamber or I was at New Mexico Highlands or I was at, West Virginia, I'm going to pull for my company. I go into Bellevue, I'm a pull for Bellevue today. And then I'm always pushing for success, right? Every single time. Walk through the door, I'm a push for success. And that always just
I'm going to get that put on my door.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that.
Like every day, right? Like and success is different for everybody, right? But every single day, there is something that you can push for that helps success happen, right? Yeah. And it's like, yeah, high tides rise all ships. But if you actually walk in with intention to say, I'm going to push for success today, I'm going to do one thing, right? Like it always just makes it better, right?
Yeah.
And then like, today I'm going to pull for Jan Simon.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to make that connection. I'm going to pull for Jan because you know what? He might need it. And because you don't ever know. And so it's like, you know what? Like I'm going to pull.
That is so freaking awesome. I honestly, and I'm just saying it. I love that.
Isn't it the coolest?
Like that is like so cool. And to think, push for success, and I'm going to pull for
whatever it is. Yeah. So
whatever that is. That is freaking awesome.
So you look at APN, right? We go to an event and I'm a pull for the APN members, right? Like I'm a pull for you to be successful. Like that doesn't mean I'm going to do the work for you, right? Like whether it was at the chamber, right? I'm not going to do this stuff for you, but like I'm going to help push for success in Gilbert. Yeah. So every single time I was walking out that door, I was like, I'm pushing for the business community. I am going to push for success. Yeah. Like whatever that success is, something is going to be successful because it's different for everybody. And so I do the same thing now too. And it's just it's just in a different space. It's just a different product or service. Yeah. And so, you know, like I'm going to push for success for Leanna, and I'm going to push for success for my clients, and I'm going to pull for, you know, my clients to, you know, get what they deem as what success looks like for them, because it's all different. So like, yeah. It's back to the fundamentals.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I would have to say, I think that's the most like inspiring thing.
Well, I have the propensity to want to use a swear word, and it's got me blocked
it's
up.
Not moist.
These are very moist cupcakes. I'm going to eat a moist cupcake. Karin brought moist cupcakes.
You know what? In your favorite kind, right? You're one of the only people, right, that loves lemon.
Oh my God.
And I'll never forget asking you, oh, what's your birthday? And you're like, well, everybody gets me chocolate. And you're like, but I really actually like lemon. Like, and I made you that lemon blueberry cake.
And it's extra moist.
I'm dead. I'm dead. You can take them home and share them with
oh my God.
Stuff.
I'm not sharing these with anybody.
Oh yeah, you leave them here.
They're staying here.
Yeah, like, but.
Okay, so you left coaching. You went to the Gilbert Chamber.
Yeah. As
business development.
Yep.
Membership. You left there, went to DeBellevue.
Yep.
Talk to me about DeBellevue. What do you do at DeBellevue? Because all I see is you play golf.
I take
Leanna, all she does is play golf.
You know, I just take photos and play golf.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, I told you, I was like, now you know why we waited to do this. Because, yeah, like everybody needed to see you actually eat. Everybody should roll forward to this moment. And the marketing only goes out. Watch Jan devour
eating a lemon cupcake.
The moist.
Moist.
That is such a terrible word. No, but so yeah, so.
Very good cupcake though.
Leanna and I meet and, you know, start looking at doing like business development. And she's like, you know, tells me, you know, marketing. And I'm like, I don't even know what SEO is, but whatever you say, lady, like you think I know this, but like, but you know, it's still, it goes back to building those relationships, right? And marketing is branding your business and telling your story, right? Like, you know, just even looking at Mather Brothers, right? Like how to tell their story about, you know, that, and of course we already had them on the podcast, right? Talking about Todd and stuff and their transition and their story coming here, but yet they are a family-run company.
Right.
And projecting that out there so that people don't look at it as, well, it's corporate, right? Like, so how do you tell that story authentically? And I think that's like what the biggest part is. So I love finding people that we can authentically tell their story and what makes sense. And that's where it goes back to that whole success thing, is like, what does success look like to them?
Yeah.
Is it at some point they want to sell their business? Like, at some point, do they want to pass it on? Like, are they looking for, and it doesn't really matter what your business is, right? Like, and what point are you at? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? And it's a piece of it, right?
Yeah.
It's not the whole part of it. It's the piece of it. And so I think that's where, I'm a year in. I got a ton of learning to still do.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful for her to even, afford me the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, to go from coaching, like, chamber, digital marketing, like.
Well, but I think the thing from my perspective, when I look at Karin Gadberry, you are a connector.
Yeah.
You connect people to people, and you're very, very good at it. And so I think through that ability to connect people and through what it is that the Bellevue does, I think that it makes sense from a symbiotic relationship perspective that through a relationship development process, you will end up being very successful with helping the Bellevue be successful.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds kind of awkward or weird, but it's more of a, like, when you were at the chamber, I feel like there was a ton of value with regards to your ability to develop relationships over time, and put people in a position where they can't say no.
Like, don't go in Karen's office.
Don't talk to Karin.
Like, everybody's like, wait, you should go talk to her.
But don't.
and then here comes that invoice from Jessica.
Right.
Like,
it's
oh my God. Like,
what, did I agree to this?
or people will be like, I just do what Karin tells me to do.
Right.
Like, literally.
Truly. And not that that's a bad thing, but
Which I do have to say, Jan, I loved when you were the chair that year.
yeah.
I loved it. That's why I have these socks.
You have amazing socks. She has Jan Simon socks on.
says.
For those of you who cannot see us, she has Jan Simon.
Jan Simon says, like Simon says.
Yes.
They were like, but it was just, like, you get it though. Like,
Yeah.
it's about those relationships. It's about the community. It's about making those strategic connections.
Yep.
It's like, it's putting the puzzle piece together.
Right. And it's finding the balance. The hard thing, I think, with regards to, and we'll stay on the chamber for a second. The hard thing that I think with regards to the chamber is a lot of people don't understand everything that the chamber does, right?
Yeah.
With APN, the great thing about APN is it's the feel good.
Yeah.
It is the, hey, we're here to connect and support, right? There's other things that go along with it, but really connect and support. And we have a good time doing it. With the chamber, I think it's a little bit tougher because people, from a transactional perspective, don't understand the longevity of what it takes to get you to that point where it is. Like I talk to people about, I was in a networking group almost 3 years before I really saw an ROI. Now, APN, totally different. It's a completely different. But I think that there can be a very symbiotic relationship between the two from a support perspective.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they just serve very different roles and purposes, and I'm very grateful for my opportunity at the chamber, and I was thankful to be able to come through the leadership program and make those.
What was your favorite day?
Well, it was kind of hard because of the COVID. I was in the COVID.
Oh, that's right.
So it was kind of a little difficult because we started in the COVID situation and came out of it. Public safety always is a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, being on the board or the committee now, I do like the Economic Development Day. I do like leadership components.
Gotcha.
Everything that's related to leadership, every single day, I always do something that's related to leadership every day. And that's why I'll finish IOM. Like I'll graduate from IOM in January for the Institute of Management for Chambers.
Oh, nice.
Even though I still don't work at a chamber, I absolutely was going to finish that.
Nice. Okay.
And I wouldn't have, and Sarah was a big reason of really pushing that initiative to do it, and super grateful because it's not just about chambers, it's about business in general. It's like, how do you run a business? A nonprofit is just a tax status. It's all business. At the end of the day, it's all business. And you know what? Universities are businesses.
Yep.
Athletic departments, softball teams, all of it is business related.
We were on the course one time, you and myself, with other people, but I'll say you and myself. We were on the course, and you were talking to me about some of the funding stuff that goes into athletics and things like that. It just blows my mind. Yeah. So I mean, it's all about business.
So it all translates back. And so it's really hard for coaches to get jobs outside of college athletics and stuff. And but then when I go back and I look at it and I'm like, I was doing the same thing. Even though I was coaching 18 to 22-year-olds, you could be employing them.
I would think that it would almost be the opposite, where employing somebody who was a coach could be very beneficial.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see where, because aside from the AD, you're making decisions that are right for your team.
Always. And
then to go to a employee perspective can be tough, because it's like all of a sudden you're like, before I could just make decisions. If I saw something that needed to be changed, we just make the change.
Absolutely.
And as long as the AD didn't come down and say something.
And they don't. And so even when I sat in the ADC at New Mexico Highlands for part of the time period, you present your coach's plan, aka a business plan, and you go about your business. Yeah. And that's it. And then if you don't execute what you said you were going to execute, you're fired. Yeah. You're out.
Do you think you'd ever go back to coaching?
No, I closed that book.
Okay.
I don't want to. I accomplished the things that I needed to accomplish. I accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish. And now I always felt like there was something else out there.
What about personal training? Let's say I had a daughter, which I do, but she's older.
Yeah.
But I came to you and I said, hey, Karin.
Yeah.
Can you teach her how to bat?
No.
Really?
I did do a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
A ton of money. I have no desire.
Okay.
I just don't want to.
Why?
I didn't. So what I liked about coaching was leading people, and softball was just the tool. I don't actually like teaching softball.
Interesting.
And that was.
So you're a control freak.
No, but I like leading people, and softball was just the tool. And so it was that's what I enjoyed about it, was that I was utilizing softball to really lead people into various different directions. Whether if you told me that you wanted to be a doctor, I was going to set up different things so that you could be successful owning your practice.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually ever own a business, but I knew that that's what they needed.
Yeah. Do you have any of your student athletes that you stay in touch with, or that have reached out to you, or that you run into, or anything like that?
There's a few. There's actually a majority of them I don't keep in touch with. I didn't really want to have necessarily a lot of relationships. My Alaskan, her and I are really super close. She pitched for me in West Virginia for the 2 years when I had the 2 successful seasons. She was a left-handed pitcher. Like, you think softball and Alaska, and you're like, that doesn't go together. She was
nothing else to do.
Well, she wasn't. She wasn't a good pitcher, but what she was very determined, and she didn't receive good coaching. And so when I recruited her, she was this lanky, she had no idea where the ball was going to go type of pitcher, but she was a black belt in karate.
Wow. Very
driven person. And I would have to say she is literally the best player I coached out of the 17 years. Like, she was it. She transferred with me to New Mexico.
Wow.
And then she worked for me for 2 years.
Okay.
She lives in Florida, has got a couple of kids now.
What was the hardest decision you ever had to make?
You know, cutting players is just like firing employees.
Yeah. Do you get close to do you try not to get close to the players? Do you get close to the players? I mean,
you know, you
or
have
do you
to
just
watch
basically
out.
step back and go, like, for me, it's a look, this has nothing, like, I have to create, I'll call it a wall in my head where I'm like, the business is making this decision.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is what's right for the business.
Yeah.
Is you the same way in sports, or?
It is. It is a business. Like, I joke, but like, I didn't go to work every day and wear sweats and a t-shirt. I wore business casual. A lot of athletic departments, because it is a business.
Yeah.
And there is, you know, when you look at it and you're like, I'm going to put the fate of my electric bill in the hands of an 18 to 22-year-old. You know, I still go to work every single day and I'm like, today could be my last. And like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, that sounds like paranoia and stuff. And I'm like, no, that's just how I operate. Like, you know, you could walk in and think about people that you see on TV. Like, LSU paid Ed Ogeron like $50 million to go away. Like,
It's crazy.
you know, and they had won a national championship. Now, there's other parts that came too with that. But like, literally, like, you could have a 500 season and like, then they're like, you know, we're going to go in a different direction. And, you know, I let a couple of people go. Like, while I was the athletic director, I had let a head coach and then actually the assistant track coach of the year, the NCAA assistant track coach of the year. I had to let that individual go. And, you know, but like, essentially cutting players was not, you know, and coaches will go through and they'll take over programs and they'll be like, then not my team, right?
Yeah.
Not my players. And I was not that person. I was a turnaround coach, but it was like, look, sure, there was a couple of people that made some poor decisions, right? Like, but at the end of the day, nobody is perfect. And so it's like, well, the choices that you make, there are consequences, whether good or bad, for the choices that you make. But like, here, you probably maybe didn't have the best guidance. And so like, and it's not always about giving more and more opportunities. It's about drawing that line, right? And it's like, hey, look, now you're going to make a decision.
Yeah.
Like, and here is what the program is. These are the standards. Like, actually, when I coached in West Virginia, you couldn't have visible tattoos and like stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah.
For players?
Yeah.
Was that your rule, or?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, because you were a reflection of my program.
Wow.
If I took that same philosophy to New Mexico, I wouldn't have had a team.
Huh.
And so I had to grow, right? Like, and, you know, taking programs academically, like from gutters to like tops of the, you know, in the athletic department, because really it was about the people.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Was there ever a point where the team, in essence, started to mutiny against you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
They'll do that.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. I got threatened by parents before. I had to be like walked to the restroom before.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm going to run in the dugout and punch the coach in the face. Like, yeah, there was, you know, kids that like, and parents and stuff that, you know, just, And sometimes you would actually just stand there and just let them air it out. And you would just be like, you have no idea what your kid actually is really doing. I mean, there are some things that, like, I know things about kids, like, that their parents would be mortified.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mortified.
I am certain of that.
And then they're like, you know, my kid is better. And it's like, you're not here every day. You don't see that your kid is not putting in the time that they need to. Like, I can't swing the bat for them.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised I was not kicked off the wrestling team. We had to go to Oregon State for a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to be at the bus at 5:00 in the morning. I think my alarm went off. I'm not sure, but I ended up waking up at 6.
The bus was still there?
Oh no, it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone. I felt horrible.
Yeah, you let your teammates.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I felt horrible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was out drinking or doing anything stupid. It was just, you know, I overslept. And probably...
Where were your teammates?
Huh? What?
Like, why didn't they come get you?
That's a great question. I don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, we turned in one of our teammates one time because we actually didn't like the fact that they were skipping curfew because we thought it was disrespectful to us.
Yeah.
And people would be like, well, damn, Karin, you're a snitch.
No,
it's called, we all agreed to this.
Right.
And, like, this is what we feel to be the best, and we need everybody to do it.
Right.
And so, like, that day that they ended up having to do, like, you know, 500 burpees and we had to count them out, like, not exactly the best situation.
Yeah.
But, like, you're a part of this team. Like, and I think that's what I love about athletics. Mm-hmm. Is that, you know, like, and so I've actually asked some of those questions sometimes, like you bring up, like, I missed the bus, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, where were your teammates?
You know what's funny is I have never thought about that, ever. It's never even crossed my mind. I'm just like, I was a freaking idiot because I probably in sleep or something hit
Sure.
off.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's like, no, and it wasn't intentional or, like, you know, but, you know, in that moment, you're like, well, they needed me. I played a role
Right.
on that team.
Yeah.
No matter what your role is. And if you go back to my freshman year of college, I played a very important role because if I don't warm up Sue Hill to go into the game, like, she was our number one pitcher. If I don't warm her up to go into the game, we don't potentially win.
Right.
And how important was that role, you
Yeah.
know? Like, and just no matter what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like pushing Brooke, who was the catcher in front of me, like making her be better every single day.
Yeah.
Like, but knowing, and everybody else all knew it too, Karin was better.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, all right, I'm going to push every single day. Like, and, you know, and I wasn't ready. Like, but, you know, but it's just a different, like, mindset and, like, thought process behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, then there's also the other part. Hey, look, we don't want you here anymore.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not being respectful to us. And so it doesn't matter how talented you are.
Well,
it's time for you to go.
Back to do your assignment, right?
Yeah.
You have people on the team that may feel they are talentedly qualified to be on the team, right?
Yeah.
They've got the talent, but they don't have the desire. I would take desire and heart all day, every day over talent. I love talent.
Yeah.
Love talent. But I would rather have somebody who has to work their ass off to get there than somebody who just comes naturally to.
Well, it goes back to that. What's the most important qualification of a champion? The intense burning desire.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that is it to a T. It doesn't matter about anything else. If you have that desire in anything that you do, if you want that specific car or that specific house, or like you want to do something in your business, if you have the desire to do it,
Yep.
you will figure out a way and you will do it.
Motivation.
Yeah.
What is it? Deep down. Jumping forward, we've spent so much time on sports and softball. APN, talk to me about Above Par Network.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Breakfast of Champions, which is a phenomenal.
I'm glad you like it.
It is. It's very good. I've enjoyed it. Where's APN going?
Well, I mean,
or what can you say? Because I don't know if Frank will allow you to say. I don't know.
Allow me. Cue the eye roll.
Frank, did you hear that?
No, obviously, you know, we have the Myrtle Beach coming out and stuff, but really it's you know, continuing here in Phoenix or this entire East Valley, like, continue to grow that sector and but grow it the right way. Like culture does mean everything, right? Like, and to, you know, live to what the tagline is, right? Home of the builders, no room for bullshitters. And it doesn't really matter what sector it's in. If you want to build something and there's other people, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those continuous builders. Like, it's not about, hey, you have to be the expert. It has to be that you're wanting to engage with other people who want the same thing that you want. And, like, you know, that collaboration is at the top.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a competition. It's really about, do you get up every day to compete, right? But, like, you know, you're not throwing someone else down to compete. It's about, like, building that culture. And I think that's why it kind of elevates what we do. Right? Yeah. Like, everything that we do, there's, like, some sort of a purpose. And then we do like to do things in threes, like kind of that 3-man weave type of situation. So you look at, there's Elevate, there's Breakfast of Champions, business roundtables, or, you know, those executive lunches and stuff. So those business development lunches, that's in its subsector of 3. Then you look at golf, has its, like, Birdies in Business, right? Like the APN Classic event, like things that are sectored around the golf area to build those relationships. And then you have, like, the regular networking, right? Like, want to do it at lunchtime, you got your lunchtime option. Want to do it at happy hour, but then we manipulate it every time. So, like, APN pop-up, right? Like, event sold out. Like, you know, but that doesn't mean it's going to come back around again.
Yeah.
Like, Frank and I are going to think outside the box, and we're going to do something different every single time. And so that's the same way with Breakfast of Champions. It's always something different every single time. I'm going to think outside the box, and I'm going to listen to what is it people want, and then bring it in an authentic manner. I think when you go back to the business hot seat, how many times do you go to something and you're like, it's, you know, every question is laid out and it's totally canned.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yep.
Like, that's why I was like, hey, by the way, Andrew, I'm not going to tell you what the questions are. Leanna, I'm not going to tell you what the questions are.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's an authenticness that comes from that.
Yeah.
To be able to say, you know, I know what the questions are. I know what I want to get to. How we get there is irrelevant, but we're going to get there. Your unscripted, candid answers are the gold or the diamonds or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Not knowing when I ask a question, not knowing what the answer is.
Yeah.
Helps. I don't know. To me, that's awesome. Like I just feel like, and having been to several or a few of the
so
breakfast.
There's been 6.
Yeah. I think I missed one. Breakfast of Champions, maybe 2, but I think I've missed one. Very much enjoyed them. Even monitoring one.
Yeah.
But,
when you did the business financial fitness.
Yeah, but to be able to have those conversations and be able to say, okay, let's talk about things that maybe people don't necessarily think about, you know, and in a situation where you don't have to worry about being sold.
Yes. It's real. That's why I said it's not a pay to play concept.
Yeah.
I don't develop them with anybody else. They're, so like, yes, there was that culture component, right? When Mike Strati came in and it was like, you know, very raw and authentic, like to the people in the room. Right. Like, so not so much calling people out, but like you really got to get a sense of like different people, right? And like how somebody is. And then you're like, aha, and you have that aha moment. Yeah. And then you take it into like Corey, and she talks about like some of the like really essentially basic things about your business, but you like sit there and you're like, oh my God, I'm not even doing that.
Right.
Like, but I actually already knew, Jan, that people weren't doing it. And so it was like, we need someone to come in so that then these people.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Like, and so, you know, I would identify those things with my team. That's where it comes from. Right. As I did like all these different leadership components, I identified what were the needs of the team. And then I put it in a manner in which that then they didn't actually really realize what I was doing. But I was like, hey, you guys need these different areas. And then there were some players that came back afterwards and they were like, you were right. Like when they went into the workplace and they were like, oh my God, like, but I was prepared, like, you know? And so, I went out on a limb with the business financial fitness and I was like, I'm gonna put the 3 competing banks, and I like called them all up and I was like, hey, I'm gonna put you guys all together. Yeah. And then they came up with those questions. And so sending out, and so there's that intentionality piece that goes with it. Yeah. Like who's the audience in the room so that everybody walks away with a nugget, because that's what I think is what's really becoming impactful to them. But I will say that I go back through and I'm like, you need to be there at this. What are you doing on this day? You need to come to Breakfast of Champions. Yeah. And so knowing part of their business, right? And that connector part, like, okay, I'm going to connect the dots. And then that person walks away and they're like, oh my God, Karin like knows me. Yeah. And it's like, but I'm not the person to deliver it. It's to put them in that position so that then they can see, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And so, you know, putting the 3 banks like in the situation so that I'm like, here's really what these people need. And so everybody walks away with a different piece and they're like, oh my God, I feel like they were talking to me. Like, and it wasn't just this like hand scripted thing, although it was very well laid out. Yeah. Right. And then, the business hot seat, that legitimately comes from when you're a coach and they put the mic in your face and they're like, so coach, tell us at halftime, right? And you're getting your ass kicked. And you're like, like, let me go be with my team right now. Yeah. Right. But every single day as a business owner, right, you are actually behind closed doors, like dealing with that. Now it's like, I want you to actually feel what I felt like when you asked me on your own island, right? Nobody else gets to answer those questions. Yeah. You know, I got beat by West Texas A&M in Division II, and they won the national championship. I got beat like 32 to like 4.
In softball.
Right? I got beaten. Like, it was insane.
Did you expect to get your pink slip that
16. No, I didn't.
God.
They had scored 16 runs in the first inning.
Wow.
And it's like, what do you even tell your team? Yeah. Don't get killed. That's what you tell them. Yeah. Like, don't get your face like blown off, right?
Just get through. Start over. Pretend it's 0-0. So, start over.
And you don't even pretend like it's 0-0. I'm like, keep letting them score the runs. I'm like, because at some point they're going to hit themselves out. Like you can't like swing and like it's going to end. Yeah. Right. And then you just go tell the umpire, start ringing them up. Like, cause you only getting paid the same amount. Like, and then I was like, hey, we're going to the Big Texan after this either way to go get the 72-ounce steak. But what do we do in game 2? We come back and then we only lose like 11-7 or whatever it was, like, you know, and because like, then they walk through it and they're like, well, that was success. Well, we still lost, Jan. Yeah. But to them, it was success. And to me, it was success too. Yeah. We didn't give up. We're not supposed to beat them. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like there's certain things that you're not supposed to win. And yeah, sure, it got blasted everywhere in, you know, national softball world news, right? Like it's out everywhere and like turn into be the laughingstock. But you're not supposed to win that. Yeah. Right? But like I wanted to actually put somebody in that position and be like, well, here, I'm going to stick the mic in your face. Now answer the question. But you don't know what the question is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not in a dirty way, right? But that's where, all right, let's really answer one of these hard questions. And then, of course, like, I joked around about it, and I was like, yeah, Leanna, what do you eat for breakfast, right? And it's like, the competition.
Yeah.
Well, every day, that means you're competitive,
Yeah.
right? And so you got to see a different side of her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so that's where each one of them are different, right? Like, then we incorporated the golf thing. So many people don't understand how to network on the golf course, or like why to even network on the golf course. You think that, like, yeah, you ask the question, like, what do you actually do for Leanna? Like, you only play golf, right?
Play golf.
Yeah, no, but I mean, no, I build relationships with people, and you actually, when you go back and you think about it, and somebody has their worst game out there, right? They're shanking the ball all over the place, like, they're embarrassed. If they end up becoming your client, you've seen them in their worst moment.
Yeah.
And it will tell you as to whether or not, do you really want to have them as a client?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then, because it's not always gravy, right? I always wanted to watch a player in their worst moment. I never wanted to see them be successful. Now, I want them to be successful for me.
Yeah.
But because when they're struggling, right? And like, when you think about it, when you see your friend struggling in business, how many times did you ever walk around with somebody and you're like, hey man, how's it going? And they're like, oh, it's good. And they never wanted to tell you, and then they went out of business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't you just tell me? But there's like this, it's like this pride thing. And, but like, you can't stop it on the golf course.
Yep.
What do you, pick up your ball and go home?
Right.
You're not going to. You can't. 'Cause
Right.
You're in
You
the
got to
cart.
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to finish all 18, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess like I might have to borrow somebody's additional
I have a
golf ball.
headache. I need to go home.
But
I'm going to walk off the course.
no, but like, you don't, right?
Yeah.
And then like someone else, like in that moment when you're like struggling like no other, and somebody else is like, don't worry about it. Like, and it becomes that like comfort, and it really becomes like you can have authentic conversations. But really and truly, that's what Breakfast of Champions is meant to be. How, because I can't replicate that necessarily on the golf course, right? For everybody to see. Mm-hmm. But how do I have those conversations that it becomes meaningful to somebody that says, this is value in my time. Like, this is worth my time. And like, I'm going to walk away and I'm going to be better, and I'm going to help make someone else better.
Yeah.
Like, and if it's not for me, it's like, you know what? So-and-so, I'm going to go connect like these two people together. And, and then it led into, Patrick, Andy, and Steve, at the last one, coming up in September, right? Like Frank and Sally, and I haven't finished laying out everything for that, but there's just, there's just different things. At some point, I will do a session on when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Like, how many times you feel like you're in chaos mode, or it's like, and you're like, I feel like I'm just like running a 3-ring circus. Yep. Like, and there's like so many different things, but like there's different ways to, round up the monkeys for your circus. Yeah. Like, I'm not just talking about employees, right? Like, how do you help set yourself up for success on the front end versus, before shit hits the fan, but then when it does hit the fan, like, who are those people that help you clean it up?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because you got to clean it up.
For sure.
So,
if you could go back, totally change the subjects.
That's cool.
You go back. Tell your younger self one thing. What would it be?
I think it would really be that sometimes it's okay. Like, that.
Sometimes what's okay?
Like, my idea of what success is, remember, you go back to that, good enough is never good enough, that there are some things that it's okay. Like, it's not a perfection thing.
It's enough.
Yeah. And I think that that's some of the stuff that causes the stress in my life is that, like,
I'm sorry. I'm relating to you right now.
We're having a moment.
Oh, I feel like that stresses me out so much.
But really, it becomes a curse.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then, so that's why I try to stay around that 1%, versus, because I think that there's too many times that it was that perfection, and it was like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I have to do this.
Are you a middle child?
No, I'm actually the youngest.
Yeah.
6 years older than me. My brother is in between us.
Okay.
And then, my sister is super successful. My parents have their business. My brother works for my parents' business. My parents' business is successful. My sister's a partner with Deloitte and stuff. And she runs the global division for Amazon, whatever. I don't know. She's the
reason I asked, I'm like, okay, well, anyways.
No,
I was going to go down this psychological whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so.
Yeah. No, I'm the youngest. I'm the only one that's involved in athletics. My dad was kind of athletic a little bit.
Okay.
My mom didn't really do sports much. Huh. So I was the only one. But, it was it was never good enough. I would.
Well, and that's what I guess that's my point is I think about myself. And when I started this podcast, I sent the first episode to my dad.
Oh.
And really all I wanted was, oh, that's awesome, right? But I get back, well, from a teacher perspective, you really want to know the answers to the questions of the people that ask, the questions you're asking before you ask the questions. I'm like...
But do you?
But I feel like you totally missed the reason, that's probably not the right word, behind what I'm doing. I don't want to know. Some of the best conversations that have come out on this podcast have been people that I haven't either known at all or have known very little about. I mean... Yeah. Our conversation today, there's been things that have come out that have been, I don't know if fascinating is the right way to say it, but have been that way to me, where it's oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Things that you've had to deal with. Dealing with a student passing away during this season and having to deal with all of the people that impacts.
Yeah.
Such a heavy burden to carry.
Well, and one of the things that is really interesting about that, and I wasn't expecting that we would actually end up having that conversation about Danielle, but it's they're your own.
Yeah.
When you tell that parent that you're going to take care of them. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe other coaches
carry responsibility.
On those road trips, I felt very much responsible for every single one of those kids. And I call them kids, but they're young adults. Every single, it didn't matter whether they were in my sight or not. And it was it was like a parent type of situation.
Absolutely.
And, it just is.
You've been granted authority.
And there's the expectation from those parents.
Right.
That
That's what I'm going to say is you've been granted authority to basically care for somebody's most precious commodity or whatever. And I mean,
it's a huge responsibility.
Oh.
You would we would drive vans, do the transportation, all that stuff. A lot of people, because I'm type A, right? And they're you're probably a crazed maniac on the road and stuff. I'm no, I'm actually the person you should have driving because I'm so used to driving everybody else's kids that I don't suffer from road rage. I don't speed. I don't do any of that kind of stuff because it's just it's not worth it, But yeah.
All right, we could sit here all night.
Yeah.
We now have 2 episodes, just so you know.
Perfect.
This is going to be 2 episodes.
I knew it would be. We didn't even get to some of the good stuff.
We have not even scratched the surface. Like, we literally have not scratched the surface. I've enjoyed this conversation, and there's a lot of stuff I want to ask, and there's some slapstick stuff I'd love to get into, but I won't. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. The pressure point. That's a part of the podcast where I get to ask you three questions.
Okay.
You get to randomly answer these three questions based on, I don't know, whatever. So, do you want to pick the numbers or do you want me to pick?
No, you pick.
Okay. I'm going to pick a number. 8. What's the biggest risk you've taken in business, service, sports, whatever?
I actually feel like it was, no matter what, every time taking a new job was a new risk. Like, when you think about each one of them, or like getting on the plane, I have never been to the campus. I didn't know what my coach looked like. I could have been stranded at the New Orleans airport, right?
True.
I took the job in West Virginia and no softball field.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Right?
That's
You're already
insane.
like, that's risky.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who on earth does that?
Right.
Karin did it. Right? Like, New Mexico probably was my least risky. But then, look, I retired from coaching and I go to work at the chamber. I didn't even know what the chamber was.
Yeah.
Like, and then I go into digital marketing. Like, I don't think I fully understood what it was, but it was super risky.
Yeah.
But I think I had people to guide me, and I trusted.
Yeah.
So I could make those calculated risks.
Yeah.
Like,
Makes sense.
like I don't jump off. Like, I don't do bungee jumping. I don't.
Why not?
No, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Like,
It'll make you feel alive.
no, I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
Walk on coals.
Nope, I don't. What is it? Skydive. I don't do any of that stuff. So,
You're dead to me. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Jan, fix your face.
What is the biggest leadership lesson you've learned the hard way?
Oh man. I really did, as I kind of talked and had that conversation about in West Virginia. West Virginia was the best, worst job that I ever took. And Frank bailed me out there. And I made some pretty good mistakes. We were really successful, but I let winning get in the way. And didn't treat people the way that I necessarily should have. And I was stressed about winning to get out, like doing my master's degree at the same time. I'm living in a 1,000-person town. Like, it was really a struggle. And, I made some really poor choices that I didn't make them again. And that could have actually been the end of my coaching career. And when I left the institution and I took the job in New Mexico, and I had met with Frank, and I met with the university president, Carolyn, and stuff. And they were like, you did a phenomenal job here, and we are super happy to support you moving forward. I was 28 at the time. And so I just, his leadership and, even like Leanna's leadership is really, really impactful. And that's why I like being where I'm at, because I know I don't want to say make mistakes, but I know that she's there with me.
Nice.
And that's not necessarily the case everywhere that you go.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I made
It's nice to have somebody that's there to help you grow through the mistakes and not hold the mistakes against you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000%. Boy, those glasses are giving you
Yeah, they're giving me a hard time.
told you to fix your face.
Stick the thing up my nose. All right, final question.
Okay.
If your brand vanished tomorrow, what would people remember most about you?
I think that's like, what would you want somebody to say at your eulogy, right? Like, I think it's that every single day that if I go back to the door concept, that every day Karin pushed to be better. Every day Karin pulled for not just herself, but for others.
Yeah.
Like, and every single day, everybody got 1% better.
Nice.
That's what I'd want people to say.
Nice.
Every day we got 1% better.
Well, Karin, it has been awesome.
Dude, it's been amazing.
We have not gotten to like even 10% of what I wanted to get to.
I told you we wouldn't.
Everybody that comes on the podcast gets a gift.
Ah,
You are no different. So I have a gift for you.
thank you.
A couple things there.
I need a new ball marker.
Yeah, you got a ball marker.
Love it.
And then our friend over at Rocks Ink Calligraphy.
Oh, I
Roxy
love Roxy.
has
I love it.
personalized your glass there.
I love this.
So
She might be my friend.
she may be
I did wear one of Roxy's shoes.
one of her shoes.
One of my unstoppable shoes.
Nice.
Yeah. These are.
Well, for Roxy's sake, Rocks Ink Calligraphy, if you ever need calligraphy work, call on Rocks Ink.
She does shoes.
She has shoes.
She does all my shoes. She is my personal branding shoe.
She's amazing. So anyways,
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
Finally coming on.
Yeah. Aren't you glad we waited though? There we go. So corny, my man.
That is. So, all right. Well, Karin, thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you. This is Karin Gadberry, and I went above and beyond.
We truly thrive.
Like, share, and subscribe to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. Elevate your mindset, one episode at a time.